I just felt like you were always attacking me. Even like I didn't even listen to what you were saying. I just heard the way you said it, and I'm like, chill, bro.
I was turning into a little punk, and then I was turning into a punk because there was so many moments where you were like, "You're being mean to me," and then when I'm being nice to you, you're like, "I don't want to do it right now." You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn. But if I just stay who I am, like, yo, this is what you need to do, and I'm not unwavering, and you're listening, you're earning my respect.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Love and the Hustle Show. I am Jayla. This is Cleveland with the K. Don't forget the K. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Special K. This is my man. This is my dog. This is my rider. This is my lover. And you know what? So much so we created this show several years ago. It's been a work in progress because relationships are a work in progress, you know? And Cleve and I have the love for each other that has broken generational curses that existed in my family, that have existed in his family. And we are constantly just wanting to improve upon our relationship, as so many of you all are. Single, in a relationship, you know what I'm saying? Having a connection with your partner is really what pulls y'all together. And I didn't even let you talk, man. Tell them what's up, Slaws. I'm sorry about that, man. Sometimes I just be going.
Well, like she said, you know, we're trying to break generational curses. Her parents never married. My parents, terrible marriage to wacky divorce to very strange, just, overall, just communication and there was nothing there. And I just figured, man, we can't go out like that. So, you know, we developed the Love and Hustle Show to make sure that, one, you know, it improves us. You know, one of the main reasons why I wanted to make this show was because I was like, yo, this show is going to have us, one, you know, communicating and like hanging out more. And two, it's going to have us focused on topics that, you know, we need to focus on, you know, because oftentimes life can just, you know, have you go by and you're not focusing on certain conversations that are going to be better for you and better for your person and better for your kids and shit. So we have to make sure that we're having those conversations. And the good thing about this show is it forces us to have those conversations before we turn on the camera. And then when we have a sense of understanding within our relationship and when we have seen it practically play out and work, we then bring it to you guys. So one thing I wanted to tell Jayla was, you know, one thing I was telling Jayla throughout this whole experience of, you know, really just trying to put this out there was, we never gonna talk about something that, you know what I'm saying, we ain't dealt with or we ain't dealing with. You know what I'm saying? If we're not having certain conversations that, you know, should be had in a relationship, then we're not gonna fake as if we have all of our shit figured out, because that's so disingenuous. And I would never want to start a show off with a false precedent like our shit's all good and gravy. Meanwhile, it's not the case. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the main parts of this show. This is Love and Hustle. This is real shit. We ain't giving y'all no fake shit. We ain't talking about some shit that we haven't been through. There's some shit that we haven't discussed yet and that we haven't really reconciled in our own relationship that y'all may not even know about it. Or if y'all know about it, y'all know, oh yeah, they ain't even, you know, on that level yet. Because we still trying to make sure that our shit is solid. Our shit is not perfect at all. You know what I mean? But one thing that we know better than anybody, which is why we're able to do this, is we have a very tight and unified sense when it comes to money and finance. We have a very, very similar understanding and like overall goal when it comes to family and the importance of family. We think a lot and the same about, you know, how we raise our kids. And so we're able to like really agree and move in unison in a lot of ways that we see personally. You know, a lot of our homies, our parents, our uncles and aunts, they just not moving like us in certain areas that give us confidence and let us know, you know what, we are doing something dope. You know what I mean? We do have a lot going on. A lot of couples can't even sit down and have a conversation and be excited to talk to each other. You know, so just the fact that we can do this and we're, you know, a little black family, I think a lot of people would like that shit. So that's why we're here, to be honest with y'all. You know what I mean? And we got a couple of topics that we want to talk about today. A couple of your ideas. So what was that?
Yeah, so like you said, we just want to talk about things that we go through. So something for me that I can say that I've experienced as a woman, and I'm like, oh my gosh, other women probably have this experience too, is, not too long ago, I used to get really offended and kind of insulted by the way Cleveland would communicate to me.
Her nickname was Squeakers.
Squeak, squeak, squeak.
She was so soft, delicate, too delicate. Like, oh my goodness, this girl, man.
I'm a Cancer. What do you expect? We're a little more emotional.
So then, what was happening when you were a little squeaky, when you were a little sensitive? What was going on? What was breaking down? Why did that not work?
Well, I just felt like you were always attacking me. I didn't even listen to what you were saying. I just heard the way you said it, and I'm like, chill, bruh. And I run into a little corner in my head, and then I shut down. And he's like, Jayla, you're not even listening to me, man. You're just being so defensive. And so I'm like, you know what? Let's bring that to the table today. When you can understand, when I understood, he kind of put me in check that time. It happened in our kitchen, and he's like, Jayla, just listen to what I have to say and not how I'm saying it, because how I'm delivering it to you, this is just how I do it. When you allow me to say how I want to say it, it's going to help you. Just listen. But I'm like, but your tone. And then you're like, well, basically a woman can neuter a man and make him feel not when you say be more sweeter to me. A man, you don't want him to be so much sweeter to you that he starts to feel walking around on eggshells, he got to be all patty pat, are you okay, boo?
Yeah. So it was a simple little suggestion that I had for Jayla, and I just went on a little 2-mile run. I was in my element, and I had something I wanted to tell her. So I was like, I was just like, hey Jayla, let me come talk to you. Let me talk to you for a second. These are certain things that I really want, you to do, and how I want us to do them. I'm going to do it like this, And, she just, again, I'm not raising my voice. I'm just kind of, being fully myself. And it was another one of those moments where, Jayla got offended or defensive. Not offended, but defensive. And again, when you are, when you have the experience with guys and being raised as to how she did, it could be a pretty large swath of women that get defensive when their guy is just being a man. He's just communicating as a man should. So then what happens is women just slowly but surely start to take away his masculinity. And I've experienced that outside of it. I've experienced that in my own house when I was little. I couldn't have a voice. I wasn't able to be a young man or a boy that, had his own thoughts and his own ideas. The second I would kind of have any sense of confidence and bravado about me, guess what would happen? My confidence was taken away by, yes, my mom's. You know what I mean? She was very much so respect. And that ended up turning into something that for me was, when I got out of the house, I was quiet. I was scared. I didn't use my voice. I was very weak. And we wonder why there's so many weak ass guys. And I know a lot of people are thinking oh, but what if your man is a tyrannical monster in the house and he's just talking? We ain't talking about that crazy ass dude. All right. He's a whole nother beast that obviously is out of control and is someone that has no real anger management. If a guy is raising his voice, then for sure, 100%, that is somebody that is going far beyond where a calm, confident, nurturing man is supposed to be. And again,
let me interject just real quick.
Yeah.
You saying that, that's the kind of man that was in my life that was raising me, kind of just very boisterous, but not in a positive energy type of way. I love you, Pops. But that's all he knew at the time. And so when you come at me like that, I'm like, oh, shut down. You know what I'm saying? Your intention was different than his intention. You have purpose in what you're saying. Not saying my dad didn't have purpose, but he didn't know how to talk to me in a way that I would even want to listen to. So it was just me realizing, I'm just interpreting this the same way I interpreted a man talking to me like that as a kid, So that's your childhood situation and my childhood situation made it so that I go in the corner and I'm like all sad because you're talking to me all mean, but you're really not. And you're over here like just, relishing in who you are as a man and doing it as you should, you know what I'm saying? And it's a woman's, it's a part of the journey of just realizing, oh, okay, you always have my best intention, you know what I'm saying? And I just need to like relax and like let you say what you gotta say. And I feel like since that moment, I feel like I don't get, really hostile or like sad or like, what I'm saying in my feelings because of how you said certain things. Because I appreciate you coming at me like that. I want Bliss and Nyla, our daughters, to have that kind of man in their life that kind of, is direct. A man's communication style is more direct oftentimes than a female is. And they'll kind of just give it at you, give it at you like that. And I think that's good.
Yeah. At the end of the day, think about how much of a wonderful dynamic it is when a fully matured woman and a fully matured man are able to coexist, and one isn't intimidated by the other, right? Like me and Jayla was actually, she asked me earlier today, you asked, how many men, what's the percentage of men that want their women to stay home? You know what I'm saying? And what you'll find is it depends on that guy's financial situation, right? Men that are usually more well off, I think it's 80-20. 80% of men who are well off would probably be totally okay with their women staying home. Maybe let's call it 75-25. A quarter of women could probably stay home if their man is well off. If their man isn't well off, if he's like, struggling financially or, has financial pressures, then 80-20, 75-25%. 75% of men that aren't doing that well financially are probably going to want their women to go out and work and and 25% of men that aren't doing well financially are probably going to be like, no, you can stay home and raise the kids. I'll figure this out. And so I think that also speaks to, how men also communicate. And how certain men will communicate and want to communicate with this woman. So a man who's basically saying, hey, I have the financial situation handled. I got it. I am in charge here. You do not have to worry about it at all unless you want to, right? I oftentimes think that men who keep their women out of the finances are doing a massive disjustice when it comes to building a family dynasty, because you can't weaken your woman and have her solely relying upon you. I'll think of it back, to times where there was kings and queens. The queen has access to all the treasure, 100%. She is not like if she goes into, the big old room with all the gold, the king's like, what the hell are you doing in here? Well, that's a proverbial bank account. You know what I'm saying? So a guy who's like trying to hide his finances and shit, there's a reason he's trying to hide it. Maybe there's something in him that makes him a little bit more insecure about where he is financially, So at the end of the day, though, I think that most men, when they communicate with their women and they have they're right there, they're well mannered, and they they don't have any kind of weird fucked up childhood trauma that catalyzes them into like massive anger. I think they just want to talk in a way that just is natural to them and isn't and doesn't get subdued or they're not submerged in this like weak femininity where she's like afraid to have a man to talk to her in a way that is probably progressive. Because men, when they communicate, and I used to be a talker puss where I was just like just always loved talking.
Used to be.
I still am. But I have more purposeful conversation. Back in the day, my stuff was I was just talking. But men, we're supposed to have, and we're supposed to give direction. So when we're communicating, it's supposed to be from point A to point B. And then, of course, you can exist in all the pleasantries of just, hanging out and having good conversation. But, when a man needs to get from point A to point B, a man with a strong vision, it's going to be really dangerous for a woman to ask him to give that direction from point A to point B. She wants him to give it to him in a certain way, because it takes a lot for a guy to have that confidence. It takes a lot for a guy to, want to, give his family direction and real purpose. So if you take away the actual source of his power, which is his masculine energy, then he's going to give less and less direction. He's going to basically become a guy who's kind of just like, okay, well, shit. He's going to feel neutered. He's not going to feel that strength. So you have to push him. let alone take it away from him because, you know, he's too strong and you don't like the way he's talking to you when it probably isn't so bad. You should be encouraging him to have that power. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's something that isn't often talked about. But it's a weird conversation because a lot of people, so many guys have such an irate conversation style. You know, there's so many instances where people can misjudge this or get this wrong, or women can be in situations where their man is just way too irate, no real emotional control. So I always want to give that precaution because I know how many psyched out dudes there are out there that just don't know how to communicate at all. I have so many of them in my family, and I have a lot of them just overall, like in friend groups and stuff like that. So it's a conversation that definitely has to be
its sides and has its, I guess, perspectives depending on who you're dealing with.
Depending on the person you're dealing with. But in the best case scenario, a fully mature man and a fully mature woman should be able to coexist amongst each other. And the woman shouldn't feel so intimidated by the man, and the man shouldn't over-emasculate his woman in so many ways.
I was just about to say, meet his masculinity with your femininity. Like, just because you're coming to the table with all this masculine energy doesn't mean I have to meet you where you're at. I'm a female, and you're in that moment trying to lead me and guide us in the right direction. So what I could do, instead of getting all riled up because of how you are, I guess, communicating to me, just more so flowing to you with my feminine energy. And the way that could look like is, wow, what a lovely bird. Over there was a big hawk.
I see it. God damn.
Okay, honey, let's give them a example. So tell me something, and you're trying to give me direction, and then I'll respond. Yeah. Okay. Anything.
Okay, so let's say that you're making a mistake that you're repeatedly making, or let's say you're doing something that you maybe know that you shouldn't be doing, or that you know that you should be doing. Let's call it your knee is messed up. Jayla's knee is a little messed up, and oftentimes she's not doing maybe your workouts. You're not walking backwards. Okay. And I come to you and I'm basically like, yo, babe, you really need to be working out. I do not want your knee to, have another fracture because right now it's really weak. So if you don't keep working out, then you're going to end up getting back into another cast. And that would be terrible, especially it's about to be summertime. We want to do our thing. You were in that cast last year for like 6 months. When are you going to start working out again?
Damn, you're right. You're right. And I needed to hear that because my knee is messed up. It's about to be summertime and I'm trying to look fine in the summer, my shorts and stuff, and be running around. So You are right, honey. Damn. You trying to go out there and walk outside backwards?
We can go do it right now. Now, let's say it was 2.5, 3 years ago. Do you think you would have been defensive if I came at you like that?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Just because I thought the way you just said it just now, it was like, you not doing that right. You need to fix it.
Right. Now, again, okay. So this is where
and the way you open your eyes sometimes scares me a little bit. Back then, it don't scare me no more. But you just be like, right there in my face. I'd be like.
Now, if you have your man well neutered, and this is how he will probably come at you, like, hey, honey, you want to go outside and work out because your knee, I just want to make sure that it's still strong. Is that okay? You want to come out there and do that?
Maybe in a little bit.
I don't like all that suggestibility shit. I don't like giving suggestions.
Yeah.
This is what you need to do, and this is when you need to do it.
It doesn't feel as strong. From my perspective, I'm not really going to listen to you like I did the first example.
Yeah, and guess what happened? There was a point in time where I became neutered in our relationship, and I came at you just like that, and guess what I was getting? All of this, yeah, I'll do it in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and then after a while, I'm like, wait, what is going on? Yeah. And I just started to think about how confusing that is for me as to like, wait, how did this happen? And I'm like this growing dude, and I don't even know how the hell we ended up in a space where you're not listening to me anymore. Oh, it was because I was turning into a little punk. And then I was turning into a punk because there was so many moments where you were like, you're being mean to me. And then when I'm being nice to you, you're like, I don't want to do it right now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn. But if I just stay who I am, like, yo, this is what you need to do, and I'm not unwavering, and you're listening, you're earning my respect. you're fixing your knee. And we're able to like move forward. It's just a lot easier to just, hey, let's move forward.
Yeah. As a man matures, his communication matures, and so should the woman. So it goes, on both sides. How you receive the communication and how you communicate, there's maturity in both of those processes. And for me, that was just me being more receptive to what you were saying and not how you were saying
and not being a little squeakers.
And not being a little squeak, but to be a snake instead.
Squeakers. So emotional, so cry.
I know.
All the time.
So that is the main thing that I wanted to talk about today. And I feel like we delivered that message pretty well. Like you said, this is something that we have overcome. We still have our, times, but they've gotten so much better. And let us know in the comments what y'all think about this topic. Like, how do you take your man's communication style? Do you think you're maybe being a little too sensitive? Do you think that we need to make another video about this? I don't know. Whatever y'all think, drop it down below. Slaws.
I'm Slaws because I used to eat a lot of coleslaw. I don't eat it like that no more though.
Nah, you don't. At the end of the day, y'all, let us know. I don't know what you need to let us know.
Oh yeah, no, let us know. Let us know like what other videos you want us to make. You know what I'm saying? Give us some more topics. You know what I mean? Give us some user feedback. You feel what I'm saying? Because we just some young rich folks chilling. Trying to get on the podcast and trying to stop the idiocracy that we see all over the internet. Because a lot of the videos we be watching. One thing I want to talk about actually, and we're going to talk about this in the next video. I want to talk about all these single folks giving relationship advice. I hate that shit. If you single and you just on some random podcast talking about what you should or shouldn't do, bro, you got to put I just really do not enjoy that. And even some of the folks that are in relationships and you talking about relationships, hey, I need them receipts, man. Show me that individual you with and let me see how they feel about you. You know what I mean? That to me gives me a little bit more confidence that you ain't BSing. So that's why we here too. Because a lot of these little podcasts got all these single folks talking about relationship shit. And I know a lot of them folks, because I used to live right smack dab in the middle of Atlanta.
It's on zit.
And a lot of y'all little scallywags talking about what you need and what you should do in relationships. And I know how your shit was, bro. Your shit was all up. So don't come on the podcast.
And it was stanky.
Yeah, so it's just not a good look. So anyway, we here, man. We here. Couples talking.
Last thing I have to say, even more than that, how you don't like how people be talking about relationships and they be single. Let's talk to the viewer who's watching that content creator. Because oftentimes people will be in relationships and think that going on the internet is going to fix their relationships. And getting advice from people on the internet is going to fix their relationships. Stop. Do you see their partner around? If not, do you know that person in real life? Because, the internet's a facade.
Right. That's true. Actually, anybody doing the podcast and talking about relationship stuff, I don't care about you. I care about the person who's watching that person. Right. If you're watching somebody talk about relationship crap and they're, again, not in a relationship or you don't see them with their person, man, take it with a grain of salt, man, because people are real confident when they, not in that situation. So, that's a whole nother topic of conversation that we're going to have very soon.
That's it, y'all. We out. Make sure y'all tune into the next episode. So make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and run this thing up. Because by the end of the year, we about to be at 1 million subscribers. You feel me? 1 million!
All right, I'm going to give it to you now. I ain't got nothing to say.
Hey.